Hello everyone. Today I'd like to show you a couple of lanterns I have. Well, they're actually lanterns and flashlights. They're very similar, as you can see, though they operate differently, and I'll show you that in detail. They're also made by two different companies. This one is made by a company called Thorfire, and this one is made by a company called Suaoki. So stay tuned, and I show you these pocket lanterns in detail. Alright, so I got these lanterns, well actually I got this probably around 6 months ago, and I picked this one up fairly recently, just a couple days ago. But they are very similar in design. I put them side by side, you'd think that they were the same thing. I actually didn't even choose these colors, but it's pretty cool that they kind of complement one another. One's orange with a black line, the other is black with an orange line. But both these lanterns are actually from two different companies. One is Thorfire, and this one is Suaoki. Now, the differences between these two lanterns, this is charged with a hand crank dynamo. Pop that open and you can hand crank it. Whereas this one is charged with a solar panel. Now when I got this, there was a sticker right across here, and when I removed the sticker, it kind of left a residue, and you can kind of see that. And I try to clean it up as best as possible, but I'm probably gonna have to try to clean it up some more. Now, let me show you how these operate. I'm going to try to show you this simultaneously. So, they both have a power on switch. There's the power on switch. And there's the power on switch for this one. And when you turn it on, the light's going to shine up right from the top. And this is the flashlight mode. And I have a light on right now, so it's difficult to tell, but I'll show you what they look like in the dark. Alright, so this is what they look like in the lantern mode. What you really do is you just separate the bottom and top halves, and you have a little plastic folded portion in the center, and the LED light kind of disperses. This plastic disperses the LED light, so it's pretty bright. As you can see, it lights up that whole table. And now, these also have a couple of different modes. The Thorfire has 3 modes. This is the low. Click it again and it goes a little brighter. That's the high. And you click it again and it turns off. So we've got the low, the high, and off. The Suaoki has 3 modes, if I remember right. Let's see. This is the low. If I click it again, it should go into the high mode, right? And if I click it again, it's going to go into a beacon mode. And if I click it again, it turns off. So we have one extra mode in the Suaoki. And let's get a look at how these are with the flashlight. So I'm going to put it down. It locks into place. It's pretty firm. Let's do the same for this one. Locks into place. And I'm going to just shine the flashlight in front so you can see how bright it looks. And now let's go into the high mode for this. Actually, I'm going to try to shine it up on the light. There we go. I'm going to go into the high mode. And off. And this Suaoki, this is the low. That's the high. That's the beacon mode. And it's off. So these are pretty handy flashlight / lanterns. I call them pocket lanterns because they are fairly small. They're a little bulky, but you know, if I just take a measurement, they're less than 3.5 inches in diameter and about 2 inches in height. And they both are exactly the same measurements. Now, let me talk about the differences between these two and what I really think about them. The build quality is a lot better on the Thorfire. The plastic feels stronger. The whole unit feels tight and in shape. The Suaoki feels a little lighter. As you can see, it has both of them have a little carrying hook. But the Thorfire closes in and the carrying hook stays. Whereas the Suaoki, it's just kind of loose, you know. Another thing I noticed was on the bottom there are these little rubber pads, and on the Suaoki 2 of those popped out, and I actually just found one. I lost the other, and this was just like, you know, a day ago. So within a day, pieces were falling off of it. I wasn't very happy with that. It wasn't a big thing, but yeah. Also, I guess that's a pro for the Thorfire and a con for the Suaoki. But another issue was regarding charging these. Now, as I pointed out previously, you can charge this one with the Dynamo hand crank, and you can charge this one with the solar panel. You can also plug them in and charge them from a DC outlet. Now, the Suaoki, let's see if you can see this. There we go. If I open up this flap here, you have 2 USB ports. One is a micro USB and one is a standard USB. Now the micro USB is used to charge this device, and the standard USB is used to charge, say, a cell phone or some another small device. So this kind of acts like a power bank. If I remember right, it's only about 800 milliamp hours, but what I like about this is that it has a micro USB, which, you know, pretty much fits any standard Android cell phone, you know. Now, when I come to the Thorfire, it also has a flap, and when you open up that rubber flap, you have one single adapter port. Now, this can't charge a cell phone or anything else. It doesn't have a large standard USB or output, and this adapter port is not something that you always have on you. In fact, I just have one, and I couldn't find it when I wanted to charge this device for this review. whereas I have tons of those Android basic micro USB cords, which pretty much come with everything. So in charging the device, I think I found it easier to charge the Suya than the Thorfire. You saw from the light test that they both pretty much have the same output, both in the lantern mode and in the flashlight mode. The Suya does have the beacon mode, which was an addition over the Thorfire. So, you know, they both have their pros and cons. I'm not sure which one I would say is better than the other. I mean, having a dynamo hand crank is always great when there's no sunlight, or, you know, at night if you really need to recharge it. But overall, you know, when you look at these, they're so similar to each other that it's difficult to tell that they were two completely different companies. But I'm pretty happy with both of them in their own right, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to find some use for them. This was just a brief overview of these little pocket flashlight lanterns from Thorfire and from